Hey guys, I'm gonna just write some more music off the top of my head. Sometimes I fear if I don't do this, I'm gonna get my art stolen again. It's happened before. People have made a lot of money off it. I'm hoping to one day make some money off my music. After all, I'm the one that writes it, right? I don't know what's going on with my life. I don't know if I like it or if it's causing strife, and seems like every word that I write or comes out of my mouth gets slapped up against me and used against me, and I don't know what to do. I'm waiting here and hoping for someone new that I don't know, and maybe you'll show up and maybe not. Maybe I'll die alone. Maybe you're already here and I don't see 'cause I'm blind to your eyes, 'cause all I see is my hand. Someone help me, I'm sorry if I don't sound right. I got a cold tonight. My lungs are all screwed up, but I'm gonna sing to you anyway, 'cause I don't know why I would do any other way. I just don't know. Oh my God, if you hear me, I'm crying out. I need to change some things. Everyone's so stubborn, you can't freaking make anyone do anything. What am I gonna do? I can't force you to help me, even if you're paid to, but it's a damn shame to steal Medicaid money. Somebody come to my aid. I don't know, maybe no one's coming. Maybe I gotta get up and save myself. Maybe I gotta do that. I don't know what to do. All I know is I gotta shave this girl's beard with glue. Oh my God, have you seen that episode? It's real funny. He wants to shave a beard with the glue. I think that's so funny. What's funny about a girl who grows facial hair, thinks she's a guy? Who really cares if I'm LGBT? And you don't have to wonder why. Do I have a gay gene, or was it because I was molested? Maybe my father wasn't there enough, or maybe I was just born that way. There are lesbian seagulls, and Beavis and Butthead know that. And look at the animals, they go that way too. Haven't you seen two male dogs trying to fuck? I've seen it a lot of times myself. Don't tell me it's not natural if it happens in the animal community. I'm so sick of hearing people's bullshit. I wish I could have beat him upside the head severely. Oh my God, if I had the recourse I wanted, show up at your door and beat you up with a bat right in your face. But then I get arrested and I couldn't help anyone else. It'd be a one-shot deal. I'd have to pick out who was the worst threat to humanity. But I don't wanna sit in jail for something I did to help someone. That sounds stupid. What seems in this world, all I get is beat on and beat up and beat at, just because I'm trying to fucking help someone out or myself out to do the right thing and have some good in this world. Why is it so reprehensible to do the right thing? And why you look at me trying to make me look bad and trying to make me out to be a bad person? All you see from this, everything you see, everything I am, I'm the product of my environment. You can say all you want that it's an excuse, but if you've studied enough behavioral psychology as I have, you'd have a little bit more compassion for people. You'd realize we're all just products of our environment. If you can make a dog salivate at a bell, you can train a person to do just about anything like an animal. So when people do things, it's probably because they grew up in a screwed up life. Doesn't mean they have to stay that way forever, but honestly, maybe you just should give them a little slack. Some people have had it harder than others, you know. You know what doesn't help is to walk up and smack them in the face. Sometimes I think I wanna... How do you change behavior in people? Maybe you can't. Maybe you have to leave. Maybe you have to run. Maybe you have to love them from a distance. What can you do? What can you do? I've left behind so many loves because I didn't like the way they treated me. And I will still love them forever, but I don't want to walk around wondering when I'm gonna get smacked next, when I'm gonna get talked down to or have my money taken. It's not okay. I mean, look at me for a second. Just stop and look. I'm a pretty girl, right? Does it look like I should have to pay for sex? Come on now, that's stupid. Bark up some other girl's trait. If you want a sugar mama, honey, sure as shit ain't gonna be me. It's alright. I don't care anymore. Now you got both kids. I hope you're happy with your mom. Isn't that what he wanted all along? We'd get into fights. He'd always take his mother's side. That's a really sad thing, and that's how sad middle-aged men get divorced, so if you got a marriage out there, try to hold on to it. Don't be a jerk to your wife, and always take your mom's side. Maybe every now and then, take your eyes off the computer and pay some attention to her, or take her out with the kids somewhere. Don't sit at home all the time. Maybe you could admit you're wrong every now and then. It wouldn't freaking kill you, would it? Honestly, sometimes I miss my husband and the kids, but I just have too much pride to go back to someone who can't admit they're freaking wrong. I'm not gonna take the blame 100% of the time. I'll take it 50%, and that's about where I draw the line. I look at my part, I clean up my side of the street, but honestly, I expect you to do the same thing, and if you can't, I gotta go, I'm sorry, no hard feelings. You think my life's worse without you, but honestly, it's better. I don't have to do half the crap I did before. If I wanted to, I could lay in bed from morning till 4. Then I'd have to go to a meeting, I could get a job, but I don't really feel like doing that anymore because, honestly, I'm sick of the way I've been treated by the world and by the mental health situation, and I gotta spend 100% of my time fighting for other people's rights and my own so people don't get hurt. Like and share and subscribe if you want, and maybe join me in my advocacy for foster children, the mentally ill, and basically anyone who can't stand up for themselves, and prisoners. Anyone who can be locked up or held down or anything. Please, I'm stopping now. That was just weird, but I don't care. Like, I literally don't care. Like, I will do anything, literally. Like, I have to, like, protect my intellectual property. I am a person who is literally poor on SSI. And, like, originally, like, I came up with a Lardy B idea, and she totally plagiarized that from me. Or maybe she made it up on her own. But, like, honestly, the raps are, like, word for word what I was rapping to myself. So, yeah, your phone does spy on you, and yeah, people do spy on you, and it's really sad this girl who probably had a decent living before, like, stole my idea, because, like, I could have made a decent living off of that, and, like, that would have been good for me, you know, like, I could have been, like, alright, like, I wouldn't have to struggle. I barely ate today. I had, like, 2 pieces of bread, and if you ask why, it's because there's not really much food in my house, because I'm too busy writing songs for multi-millionaire artists, and it's making me angry. So pass it on. Share the video, like, subscribe, help me out. Please, I'm just trying to save the world, one helpless person at a time. Or maybe not helpless, because I don't see myself as helpless, but when people, like, drag me away from my house, you know, and throw me in handcuffs when I was just sitting there watching YouTube on my phone, like, yeah, in the United States. Alright, let me just break it down for you, because let's just go ahead with the story. I might as well. I'm live, so they can't cut my video short, like they do with the others, and say, oh, it's too long. You have to be a partner to have a video over 10 minutes. Alright, go ahead and cut me off. I'll start another one. So, the first thing that happened, when it started getting bad, I had, At one point, I had lost my housing because I was in a domestic violence situation. I left very suddenly and moved to Maine with my ex-boyfriend. You know, he didn't stop his abusive behaviors. I mean, he wasn't physical, but the mental stuff was pretty bad. So I was like, you know what, this is BS. I'm leaving. You know what, I came back to Rhode Island to see my kids, and like we ended up breaking up like somehow along the way or before, and he stayed and I came back, and you know, I was in shelter for a while. I was very sad to be there because honestly, like I grew up in Rehoboth, Massachusetts with the children of doctors and lawyers and like people who like wanted to live there. If you want to live in Rehoboth, you better be able to pony up $400,000 to get a house. Well, at least that's what my grandmother's house would have been worth if it had been up to code, because it was from the 70s and she never updated it. So basically what happened was, like, she had to they ended up selling the house, trying to move my grandparents down south, and you know, and they, after they passed away, they literally sold the house for $200,000. Like, that's a lot of money. That's a $200,000 house, and that's a shit house. That was a piece of shit house. Like not a piece of shit, but it was all 70s, and like all the electric was all 70s, and like nothing was modernized, nothing was up to like the present day like electrical code. So you know, if a house that like is not up to anything can go for 200,000, it's like, imagine what a really freaking nice house goes for. You know, maybe one day I'll get back to a decent place to live. In the meantime, I'm over here kicking it in East Providence for you. Rhode Island, the asshole of the United States. Oh my God, I swore. You know what, that's another thing we're gonna have to get into. Well, let me go back to Fatima. So I had to go to the mental hospital because I got very depressed and upset at my situation. My life was tough. I was a domestic violence victim. I was denied access to domestic violence shelters because there was not any open beds, because there's not enough funding. And I don't know, because they keep saying, oh, you know, donate, 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 and all this other stuff, but where's this donation money going to? Seriously, this is an aside here. I'm going on a tangent, but really, like, if there's so much awareness and people care so much about domestic violence, why, if you're a victim or of a domestic abuse, like, are you thrown out on the street if you don't want to be hit? Like, literally, if I didn't want to be beat, I had to be homeless. And this is America. Go America. But if I was a stray animal, I'd have an easier chance of getting a shelter. So anyway, I said I was suicidal because I was depressed. She dragged me in the hospital. I didn't want to go because I knew they weren't going to be able to help me. So they sent me, instead of going to my usual Butler hospital, which is good, it's like actually like world renowned. Basically, the magical thing that Butler does that's so great is they don't treat their patients like shit. Wow, it's a freaking concept. If you don't treat your mental patients like crap, they get better. There was something that Sigmund Freud said once, and I'm a student of psychology myself. I'm currently going to be re-enrolling myself in school. I'm in the process right now. Mental illness seems to disappear or abate in the absence of assholes. Something to think about. Alright, so anyway, I had to go in there. People were rotten to me in there. I tried to be as nice as I could to everybody, you know, but some people, it doesn't matter how nice you are to them. I mean, look, Jesus was supposed to be perfect, right? And they crucified him. So I had a day-to-day thing in there. Tried to sleep as much as I could so I wouldn't have to deal with it. And one woman who screamed every waking moment unless she was eating or sleeping. And if she wasn't doing that, if we were trying to tell her to stop it because we literally just couldn't take it anymore. This was 2 weeks this went on, and a lot of people, they were very upset about this, you know, and she would just start in on us, swearing and all this other stuff, just terrible bullying. There was another woman who bullied pretty bad. She was pretty bad bully. She used to bully me about my LGBT status. I'm currently working on a complaint against all these mental health centers to the basically the Department of Health
because they get accreditation from the Department of Health, but if they abuse people, they can lose that, and I hope they get things up to code soon, or some change happens. I figured I would go public with it as well, because, you know, you tell someone in Rhode Island, like, oh, we'll help you, and then, like, they might just do nothing, and then, like, the next person who's not a freaking loudmouth like me, when someone hurts them, they might just sit there and cry or go jump off a bridge, or if they know if they're incompetent, no, not they're incontinent. I mean, like they might just have to sit in a shit diaper for like 3 days because no one's gonna change them because no one's doing what they're freaking supposed to do to help people. They didn't give me like they only gave me like 4 doses of medication. Like they didn't even get my medication right in the other hospital. Like, what happens if someone has like diabetes medication and like they're gonna die if they don't get it? There needs to be some reform. People are going to die or have massive psychological or physical damage if something isn't done soon about the state of behavioral health care, at least in Rhode Island. And I'm personally very concerned about the safety and the welfare of my fellow Rhode Islanders in this state who are mentally ill. Anyway, so this woman would follow me and talk all this junk and blah 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 about my LGBT status, you freaking faggot, trans this and blah blah blah. Personally, I was born a woman. I might look like a woman, but inside I feel like a man, but I still dress like a woman. I don't shave anything except for my face because I grow hair on my face. And I have no problem with that. I have no desire to do anything else. If I want to transition to be more male in life, maybe I will, but I consider myself kind of non-binary. But I do feel like I should have been born with a penis, and I don't think that that is any reason to make fun of someone or put someone down. You know, that's like walking up to someone and be like, hey, you got brown hair. Fuck you, buddy, and just whack them upside the head with a baseball bat. Please, you know what? Let's be rational. Let's be rational, folks. Let's be rational. It's not rational to hate someone for something they can't help. If that involves being a jerk to you, that's one thing. But if it's something like they're in a wheelchair, or like, you know, their LGBT status, or like, I don't know, they're a girl in a Muslim country and they want a job, like, Jesus freaking Christ, guys, let's just be nice to each other. Would it freaking kill you? Because that one act of controlling your inner hatred and like reaching out and doing something freaking nice for another person that's in need, you know, there's something on these Rhode Island buses out here. It's called the ripple effect. And they say it's about driving, just like, you know, your asshole driving or your drunk driving has a ripple effect on other people's lives. But you know what? If you're a nurse or like a healthcare worker and you work in one of these organizations and like you're hurting someone or neglecting someone, it has a ripple effect too. That's gonna damage that person, who might go home and be a little short with their kids and then might lose them for that, and then they're gonna be hurt even more. The kids are gonna be hurt. They might grow up in foster care, get pregnant themselves, have their baby taken, you know, then all of a sudden they don't even get the right to even see or know where their baby is. So next thing you know, they're shooting drugs. They're in and out of the same behavioral health stuff. They're standing on the corner selling their body. Like, you gotta see where this stuff ends. We gotta freaking have compassion. Please. Compassion can be learned. I do believe that. All you have to do, listen, even if you can do this, even if you're a stone-cold psychopath or narcissist, sit literally for 1 second in that person's shoes from what you know about them and think, how are my actions affecting this person? It's kind of magical. You can change a lot. You could change someone's life. You could change people's lives for generations. Just by providing people the medicine that they need when they need it, providing people the help they need when they need it. It's not that difficult. So anyway, she was doing this to me, this LGBT shaming over and over and over again. Hold on. I was trying to talk to my 8-year-old son, John. I love my son. I love him to death. And the one time he wants to open up to me about his day and actually talk to me, not say hi and bye, I was so happy. I was like, yes, finally something's going good. Finally something good in my life to hold on to. And so I'm talking to this precious little baby, you know, well, he's 8 now, you know, and this lady comes up and starts gay shaming me again. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? I couldn't, she was screaming, and you know what, the staff would never help me when any of these things happen. I would complain about it over and over, like, listen, I can't even talk to my kids. They wouldn't give me a private room at Fatima Hospital to talk to my kids in, so I would talk, sometimes I would even get, like, sexually assaulted while on the phone. Like, there was this one guy that come up to me, start rubbing all up, touching on me. I'm like, Jesus, that's disgusting. You know what they said to me? You shouldn't allow him to do that. But if I tried to defend myself, like the one time the one lady knocked my notebook off the little shelf thing walking by after she had sworn at me for the past 2 weeks and said rotten, nasty things, and I literally just had it, and my PTSD kicked in, and my fist connected with the back of her head, and I didn't realize even what I did until the backswing. I was like, oh shit. And then they almost didn't put me in the quiet room, but I had lost it at that point. I was screaming my head off because I was just so sick of it. People can only take so much. Does anybody realize that bullying sometimes results in people's death? Honestly, I'd like to say it right here. Don't bully me, please. If you want to shoot me, just do it to my face, you know? If you want to end my life, do it to my freaking face. Get some balls, grow a sack, step to me, and end my freaking life. But I'm so sick of people just bullying me and bullying me and bullying me. You know, we have seen too many people die because of that. If you value my life that little, grow a sack, be a man or a woman, and step to me, and we'll settle it man to man or man to woman, whatever you want. We'll throw hands, whatever you want. We'll see who dies first. I don't care. But don't talk shit to me, and don't be a bully for no reason when I haven't done anything to you. You know? Anyway, so because of this, I was so stressed out, and I was really holding back. I didn't want to hurt this woman, but she was really touching home with a lot of these insults, and I was angry. I was very angry. So I finally, I had to hang up the phone because I literally couldn't hear my precious son on the phone in our lovely conversation that made me so happy because this woman was so happy with her ability to just walk up and just tear me up one side and down another with no consequences. Because the staff said she was too mentally challenged to understand what she was doing. Then why would she know what was going to make me angry? Listen, I have 6 kids, right? And maybe I'm just a really great mother, but at the age of 1.5, every single one of my children, without an exception, knows better than to bully someone. They know that's not right to do to someone. And if she, you know, you can't tell me that woman didn't have an IQ of at least a 1-year-old. Because if she wasn't shitting her pants and she could eat with a spoon, then she freaking knows what she's doing. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I got so mad I accidentally said, I'm sorry, John, I have to let you go. This fucking cunt won't shut up. And yeah, I said the words. Now, my mother-in-law won't let me see my kids. I haven't seen or spoke to John or April in between 4 and 6 months. And it's really tearing me up inside. Insert lit cigarette. And you know, and now she won't. She said I was mentally unstable because I swore, which is really crazy because there's a lot of people out there that swear, but not everybody that swears is mentally unstable. And I don't know how it can possibly be mentally unstable for me to lose my temper after having been bullied for 2 weeks straight. I think that's kind of a normal reaction, you know? And this has been happening my whole life. Like, people treat me like crap, and then, like, my reaction to it, they label as mental illness and send me to get help. Listen, symptoms of mental illness happen. when people get treated like crap. And people shouldn't be punished for being punished. Because right now I'm being punished for being punished. For being angry because I was being bullied. So I can't see my kids because I'm mad because I got bullied. And that's really not fair. And unfortunately, because I'm on SSI, because I'm disabled, I have no legal recourse against this because he was adopted and I would have to take them to court and I have no money for a lawyer. So I'm gonna have to go in there by myself and do a hack job and try to do the best I can. I don't know. But this is one thing's for sure. I will never ever consent to a state adoption again. And they can try that thing. They try to railroad me with John. They said, and they did it to me again. Well, if you don't let us adopt them, we won't ever let you see them again. That's literally what they say. Department of Children, Youth, and Families in the state of Rhode Island, if you do not consent to an adoption, whether it was your fault or not your child was taken, whether it was negligence or just for some stupid-ass reason, like, that they came up with, they could just take your kid and like, adopt them out to some random-ass person, and you'll never see them again just because you fought because you wanted to keep them. And now if you don't show up to that hearing, you don't ever get to see them again. It actually happened to my friend. She had twins. Beautiful twins. 3 sets of twins. And she doesn't get to see the babies now because for some reason she ended up having to miss the court date. And they just terminated her parental rights for missing one court date. Welcome to America! This is the fucking shithole country we live in, Donald Trump. Do you like it? Because I hate it. Honestly, like, if I could renounce my citizenship and move to a better country and take my kids with me and I had a plane ticket and I had my kids, like, honestly, I'd throw a party and get the fuck out of here. Because we live in a giant hole. Sorry, let me keep going. So, okay, so I'm in pain. I'm upset because I can't see my kids. Well, now being upset because I can't see my kids is mental disturbance, so I can't see my kids. So because I'm upset that I can't see my kids, I can't see my kids. I'm not going to stop being mentally ill. But because I'm mentally ill, I'm not allowed to see my children. Can you tell me, is there any justice in the United States? Because there is none. You don't have rights. Okay? Something must have happened along the way. But in America, you don't fucking have rights anymore. They're gone. I don't know, maybe other people don't have rights. Maybe it's just Rhode Island where they like to deny rights to the poor, but it's always people who can't afford a good lawyer. They just want to step on you. Take your kids, throw you in jail, shove you in the psych ward. Oh my god, I can't believe it. You know, I'm still like, honestly, like, so many bad things have happened to me and so many traumatic events that have happened to me in my life. I'm almost in shock still. I'm still in shock. I'm in shock because I'm such a decent person, I don't understand, like, how people can do the stuff they do and sleep at night, you know? Like, I've denied people the ability to see their children before, if they put their hands on me or put their hands on my kids, because the logical consequence, if someone's gonna beat a woman, they're probably gonna beat the kid. And if someone put their hands on you when they're pregnant, logically, they're probably going to put their hands on an infant. And I'm not going to take that chance, you know? You can be mad at me all you want, but I want to make sure my daughter's safe, you know? If there was some way it could be supervised, I'd be fine with it. But now he doesn't want anything to do with her. He really wanted her so he could control me anyway. That's what they do, abusers. So I was abused as a child and a teenager. And then I grew up and got abused in adult relationships. And then when I went to get help for all the abuse, neglect, and all the pain that it caused, and all the PTSD and all the mental disorders, I went and I trusted these organizations. And they failed me. And they made me lack trust even more. in anyone to help me. And now, like, I'm honestly afraid, like, what happens if I really feel like I want to kill myself and I want to get help? I can't. There's no help for me because I'm so afraid of the torture that's going to happen to me if I ask for help. I don't want your fucking help. I'll take my chances with my crazy ass self. God damn it. What are they trying to do? Like, beat it out of me? Jesus. So then let's go into the other hospital. So eventually I was let out around July 4th. I was told I could see my kids. April had her 3rd birthday. I wanted to give her the nice tie-dye shirt I got at the Gay Pride Parade for her. I got one for Andy. Well, these ladies, these wonderful, wonderful, classy ladies at the shelter decided to steal Andy and April's birthday presents because they must think I'm ballin' or something, you know? I had to buy Andy another birthday present. Now I'm gonna have to buy April and John more birthday presents. You know, I'm not buying them yet. I'm not gonna buy them until I see them because honestly, like, too many people steal too much crap from me in too many places that I'm not gonna buy them until the day I'm gonna give them to them because I'm not sure if they're gonna get stolen again. You know, I wish I could send them presents right now, but I want to see the look on their faces when they see what I got them, and I want to get them exactly what they like and exactly what they want so they can be super happy when they get it. That's my love language, gifting. I'm a very kind and loving person, and I wish to God that people hadn't hurt me so much in my life, you know, because I probably would have been a better person than I am, because honestly, I can get mad very easily, and I can hurt people sometimes too, because I'm in pain, you know? So after that happened, I ended up being able to move back into my dad's house. My mom talked my dad into letting me move back in. You know, I live in a house that's half built. Well, it's not half built. It's being renovated. It's not really fit for human habitation, but I only occupy one room in the bathroom. So, like, the other house is a mess, and like no one could really live in the other part of the house, but this one room's finished, and I can live here, you know. What was the next one? There was Fatima Providence Center. Ooh, they're a good one. They've been giving me it good for a long time. This is the last thing they did because I don't even remember the other stuff before. I was so traumatized I don't even remember it. So they decided that they were gonna play cutesy with my medication and force me to do bubble packs, which means they get my prescriptions, they fill them, they put them in these little tiny, like, individual packages, and they give them to me when they fucking feel like it. Pardon my swear, I guess I'm not worthy of seeing my children now. But, you know, sometimes if I can't get there for some reason, it's tough. You know, I lack transportation. I'm on a bus line. It's not a great one, you know. I have to walk at least a mile to get to the bus. I have some physical disabilities, I have some chronic pain, you know, it's hard for me to walk sometimes and get around because it hurts. So, and sometimes things come up. And when things come up, they're very inflexible. They're like, well, gee, I'm sorry you can't make it in, we'll see you tomorrow or the next day, you know? And, like, sometimes I would go down there and they just wouldn't even have my meds at all. I'd be like, well, I just waited for an hour for my medication. What do you mean it's not done? And then they would say, oh, your medication will be ready tomorrow. And it's going to be 24. Has anybody in the world ever heard of a pharmacy taking 24 hours to fill a freaking prescription? What are they trying to do? Like, what are they trying to pull here? I mean, like, I would get mad and I would, like, you know, be like, yeah, well, you need to give me my meds. Like, what? Like, the court says I have to take meds because when I tried to go off my meds before under a doctor's care, Dr. Bilenkoff said, try to go off your meds. You know, we'll see, and if it doesn't work, we'll go back on. She said I should go back on. I was beyond help at that point, you know, and I ended up going a little crazy. So there was a crime committed, and because I was not in my right mind and I had relapsed into the drinking, and so the judge said they wanted me to get mental health care, which I wholeheartedly agreed with. I obviously, at this point, after everything happened, I realized I was going a little nuts and that I needed help. You know, so I said, yes, I will accept help. I will cooperate with the court. I will not commit any more crimes, you know, unless I'm standing up for myself, whatever. I will even try not to do that, you know, the best I can. So, you know, they told me, but, like, this agency was making it difficult for me to get the mental health care I needed. Because anybody that knows anything about psych meds, they're kind of like a birth control pill. You kind of need to take them every day for them to work right. Oh, Jesus help me. So I was getting angry, and I had actually at that point, I had taken a suicide attempt like a week or so ago. It wasn't really a suicide attempt. It was more like I couldn't sleep, and I was so stressed. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a whole bunch of like hydroxyzine and hope to God it's like a sleeping pill. I just wanted to knock out and go to sleep because I was frustrated. It was like 3 in the morning, and I wasn't able to sleep. So I took like 5 of them, tried to go to bed. After taking 1 before, so that's 6. My insomniac ass, ooh, I really don't deserve to say my kids. I said ass. I'm sorry. An hour later, I was like, why am I up again? So I took a whole bunch more, and I said to myself, I hope to God I don't wake up in the morning. You know, and that's what it was. And I didn't have a chance to explain it to the lady on the phone because my DCYF social worker was there, and honestly, like, I'm having to put all my business out there now because now I have to fucking explain it to people. Oh, sorry, I don't deserve to see my kids now. You know, like, because I need people to know what is wrong with the system so they can get help. So now I gotta throw myself under the bus so other people can be saved. Once again. You know, and let's not talk about the lady at, oh God, there was another one too. Ooh, Jesus, we're at this point, it's like like if you really look at everything that's gone on with me, like you wouldn't be surprised why I wouldn't want to take medication or seek help, you know. So anyway, because of that, because she called me and she demanded answers about that, and I couldn't give them to her because my DCYF social worker was standing right there. I was on the porch. I was embarrassed. I didn't want all my neighbors to know I was mentally ill and all my business because I didn't want to be embarrassed. Honestly, there's a stigma, unfortunately, still on mental illness, and I just wanted to be treated like a person by my neighbors, and I was afraid that if they didn't think I was a normal person who just dressed a little weird, it was a little artsy, that they would start treating me like crap too, you know? So I just hung up. I was like, listen, I can't talk right now. Like, I was going to try to talk to her later, and she was pushy. And I was like, you know what? This is just too much. Like, that's my private, confidential, like, HIPAA protected health information. And if I don't want to give it out on my front porch, I shouldn't in front of my DCYF social worker, who basically, you know how those people are. They will take anything and they'll use it to rake you over the coals, you know? But someone could freaking rape your children all day long and they get to keep the kids, you know? Anyway, so that's how they work. Honestly, it happened to one of my sons was raped in foster care repeatedly, and I actually had warned the social worker. I was like, listen, I don't want you putting that preteen in the same room with my little boy. He was young at the time. I said, because he's going through puberty and there's a kid there, and I'm afraid he's going to get curious and molest my son. Oh, no. Her name is Valerie Angelone. Honestly, I'm almost ready to find a personal address and post it on the web. So she placed this little boy with my son, who rapes my son over and over. My son doesn't even remember it. And I hate to have to put this out and embarrass him, but people need to know, like, how bad these people really are. You know what? This woman, and I can't say effing C word, because the last time I did that, I lost the ability to see my kids for 6 months. So this blessed woman is now a supervisor at DCYF, supervising the lives of hundreds of children taken away from parents who do slightly off and maybe, what's the word, like unconventional ways of parenting, to place them in rooms with rapist 13-year-olds, because raping kids is so much better than having a mother who has a brief relapse into drugs. Like, honestly, that never would have happened in my house. Like, his father was living with me at the time, and honestly, if someone ever tried anything like that with his son, and he was around, and he got the name, and they'd be dead. He would be sitting in jail for the rest of his life. Like, I know my son's father has severe drug problems, but he loves his son, and he will protect his son. And if anybody out there knows the name of the 13-year-old boy who did this, please let me know, because justice needs to be done, because obviously no one else is going to do it. So, oh my god, I'm so sorry about the length of this. I know it's long. I gotta go soon, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Where are we in the story? Oh, we're at Fatima. So yeah, so anyway, I get dragged out of my house by the cops. They show up at my door with a fire truck and a police car to embarrass the crap out of me, all right? So now the cops insist that I speak to them on the porch. I'm like, please, I'd like to speak inside. No, you have to air your business in front of all your neighbors. Well, that's great. Now that they've made me air my business in front of all my neighbors, I will air their business in front of all my neighbors. The East Providence Police Department came to my door and tried to forcibly enter my house by kicking my father's door in. Mind you, they had my phone number and they could have just freaking called me. But no. No, because East Providence Finest would rather damage property that doesn't belong to me than just call me to see what is going on and ask me if I'm okay. So apparently it's legal if anybody says anything close to wanting to harm themselves, you can twist their words into saying they're suicidal and have them thrown into a hospital for an indefinite period of time against their will. Which I think is really screwed up. Anyway, so 24 hours, I was forced to lay on a cot. Now I have chronic pain and I told them I have to get up and move. I have fibromyalgia, I will hurt. I have tardive dyskinesia, my muscles will cramp up. You know, it's what's gonna happen. But let's get back to East Providence's Finest. Actually, they grabbed my phone out of my hand and shut it off when I said I would rather keep my phone call going just to make sure that like everything that was going on was legal. I don't even know if that's legal. I have a witness to it, the woman that was on the phone. East Providence's Finest. Gotta love it. Can't find a criminal so that harass a mentally ill person. Anyway, they took me to Fatima. I was left on a cot. They forcibly made me take off all of my jewelry. I used to wear a lot of bracelets on me. That was my thing. There's no point. I can't even be myself and express my fashion style. So, like, they made me wear these paper pajamas. They took my phone away from me. They assured me I'd be able to make phone calls if I needed to. But I did need to call out of work. Most of it, like, I was trying to do some odd jobs for a friend. She's going to pay me for it. Well, I was not allowed to call out once again, like the time at Butler Hospital, where they refused to contact my therapist until 4 hours after my appointment and forced me to lose my therapist, who was a very good therapist. So I've lost therapists because of the mental health center, these mental health facilities. You know, I lost a day's pay. I lost the ability to go to a wake of a very dear childhood friend I had who just recently suddenly died of stage 4 cancer. I was not even able to visit her while she was sick, and I desperately wanted to, but I lacked transportation, and I so desperately wanted to say goodbye. But I guess if you're mentally ill, you're not good enough to say goodbye to your loved ones. And I just recently lost someone that I love another 3 months ago that was a dear friend of mine, and I wasn't able to attend the wake because, you know, I think it was some other situation. But you know, it's so sad. I'm gonna have to like end this video and like make more like of a, you know, go into the you know, like what Fatima really did, because, you know, that's gross. Oh, did I mention that like when I was I was talking about Miriam, I meant when I was in Fatima, there was a man that used to walk up to me and just like slobber on me and grope me, and like they wouldn't help me at all, like against the patients that were like harassing me and touching me unwantedly. You know what they said to me? They said, you shouldn't allow him to do that. I'm like, allow? I'm like, if I punch him in his face, you're gonna chuck me in the quiet room, and I'll be sitting there locked in a room without a toilet, food, or water for 4 hours. And they said that was legal. If it's legal to lock someone in a room for 4 hours without food, water, or a toilet, how come it's not okay to take a random ass kid, lock him in a closet for 4 hours? That's considered abusive, right? But if you're mentally ill, somehow that's no longer abusive. I would just like to say in closing, just try to be a decent ass person. And if someone swears, you know, that's not all of the conversation. There's more to it, you know? Sometimes people swear because they're frustrated with their life. Maybe because their life is harder than yours. And I know it's hard sometimes for us to conceive of the fact that someone's life might be more difficult than ours, but it could happen. It could really happen. So please try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Understand why, you know, sometimes people might get frustrated or swear. It really doesn't hurt anybody or anything. You know, it's just a word. What's it gonna do? You know, there's a whole the South Park movie was all about that. You know, they just stood up in front of the screen and said fuck fuck fuckity fuck fuck. See, it doesn't hurt anybody. You know. And sometimes I think people hide too much behind that. They hide too much behind not swearing and working every day and dressing normal and being a normal person. You know, 90% of serial killers are exactly like that. They don't swear. They go to church. They take care of their kids the normal way. You know, they don't rock the boat, but they've got people in their basement. So you really can't judge people by whether they're normal or not, or whether they're mentally ill or not, or, you know, whether they have a drug problem or not, because someone's character is not defined by those things. We are not defined by our illness. We're not defined by addiction or alcoholism. We are who we are. I am Crystal, and I'm a person.